Hey, I'm Gene Goldman. Here's a look at the week ahead for the week of April 3rd. Well, the calendar turned to April over the weekend, so for most of us, it's a sign that spring is around the corner. But for the markets this year, it's time for us to learn how the economy performed in March. So why is March data so important? Well, the markets are trying to gauge whether or not economic growth is too strong and possibly keeps inflation elevated, and therefore the Fed stays aggressive, or is economic growth slowing and a potential recession is on the horizon. Plus, in March, we saw the banking crisis. How did that affect the economy? Did lending tighten up? Did consumers slow their overall spending? If you go back to January, we saw that economic data was pretty strong. And then in February, the strong activity was maintained for a bit in February. March will tell us whether or not that data strength in January and February was due to weather-related positive issues or just a true surge in economic activity. So with this as a backdrop, we are watching three key data points this week. Number one, we get the ISM PMI data for manufacturing on Monday, and then the services data on Wednesday. As a reminder, we've talked about these data points so many times now. If the data comes in above 50, it's considered expansionary. Below 50 is considered contractionary. These indices tend to be the first broad look at the prior month economy, so therefore the first look at March's economy. They also have a high correlation to market returns. If you look at consensus data for manufacturing, the consensus expects a slight drop from 47.7 to 47.5. Services is still in expansion above 50, but it's also showing some slight slowing from 55.1 to 54.5 in March. Then on Friday, we get the employment report, and markets are watching this very carefully. Expect a slight drop in payrolls from 311,000 to 230,000, and the unemployment rate should stay flat at 3.6%. So our overall takeaway is that markets are watching March data very carefully. First of all, was that strength that we saw in the economy in January and February, was it an anomaly or is it a trend? Second of all, what was the effect of the banking crisis on the economy? We do think the data will come in lower than expected. The banking crisis is affecting loans, and we're seeing lending standards tightening already. Also, job postings are slowing. We're seeing an increasing number of layoffs announcements, and then credit card usage is slowing down. All signs that the economy is clearly starting to slow down. Thank you for listening. For more information, please follow us on Twitter at Cetera IM, and talk to you next week. Thank you.